Hello, welcome to this week's episode of On Farm. It's coming from my farm in the middle of rural Perthshire, and I'm farmer and comedian Jim Smith.
We're not going to give out the address because Jim's a bit worried about all the stalkers turning up on his doorstep. He's got quite a few fans on Twitter, I think, who are desperate to find out where he lives, and I don't think Morag would be too happy if they all turned up here in a bus.
The only stalkers we have around here are the ones that go about with tweed caps shooting deer, so...
Well, give it time. Give it time when you're even more internationally famous. I'm sure they'll be trekking up. If their cars can get up the farm road, they'll be coming here to bang on your front door. So is that why you keep it a wee bit bumpy to keep them away?
Absolutely, yeah.
Morag's out digging the potholes in the middle of the night to make sure they can't get here.
Laying dynamite. No, it's good. It's good. At least we can see who's ever come up the road, so it's good.
True, yeah, from quite a distance actually. So you can.
I've got 2 minutes to get out of my bed, get dressed.
It is absolutely stunning. We can see the snow on the hills in the distance.
That's the Sidlaw Hills. So.
Oh, okay.
So I was just looking east on down to the Vale of Strathmore, that kind of flat plain. That's God's country. That's where I really want to farm, you know.
So once you've made your millions, you're going to buy another
Maybe
farm.
Yes.
Well, it is beautiful, and we've picked a good day for it as well. It's calm and blue skies, and it's lovely. So, and we've got the cattle shed behind us. So they're just when we arrived this morning, Jim and his mum, who I think does a lot to help, doesn't she, Jim?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
We're busy feeding the cattle with this. What I love is this beautiful pink bucket. I'd love a pink bucket. I'm going to go and get a pink bucket for the farm. Just cheers the place up. So we arrived and interrupted that task, and Jim's mum's gone in the house, and now we're having a chat. So I think we're going to go up and see the sheep as well, if that's all right. Is that okay?
Sheepies? Yes, totally.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
You've got a day-old calf in the corner there.
Just started calving yesterday. So we're delighted with that. She was all calved herself and up sucking and all the rest of it. So it's great when they're like that. I love this time of year.
So she's the first one, is she?
First one of the spring, aye.
Oh,
so
lovely.
Okay, I just love this time of year now. It bursts into life, and we're a bit away from getting some decent weather yet. But
but the snowdrops are out, and you can see the daffodils coming,
totally.
And it does kind of lift the spirit, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I always think March can turn on a penny. On a penny, it can be like this 1 week, and then all you need is 2 or 3 dry days, and then folk are out ploughing. It's a great month. I love it.
It is, yeah. And we're also standing near your new tractor, because you were telling me that you got a new tractor. Did you buy it specifically so that you could listen to tunes on Spotify?
Yeah.
But you plug in and so you're quite a regular podcast listener yourself?
I've listened to a few, Will Evans and also Michael Blanche with the Pasture Pod.
Oh yes, yeah, still not met him.
He's brilliant, he's good value. And then I like football from like the 60s, 70s and 80s, you know, when Scotland used to be good at it. So there's some good podcasts in that.
Yeah. Comedy, do you ever listen to comedy podcasts or not? Really?
I tend not to, because then if you listen to good jokes, you're like, oh, that's a shame. I wish I'd thought of that one. So,
you don't want to sow too many seeds. Yeah. We noticed when we were miking Jim up earlier on, he was wearing a boiler suit, and we put the mic inside the top pocket, and we noticed, Jim, you've got a wee, it's not black or red, blue notebook in your pocket. Does that go everywhere with you?
Absolutely, yeah. Aye.
And how often do you write ideas in there?
Maybe once a day, if I get a good idea, once a day. Sometimes I'll wake up and I'll have 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll go days without anything. So
can we hear something? Some of these notes.
No, I don't know. Well, half of these won't make it. As you know, my girlfriend's expecting, so I'm going to be a father in July. So there's great hilarity comparing it to a lambing shed, or there's a joke in here about how we didn't know she was pregnant, but until the scan man came to see the cows, and then we just put Morag in the crate last. Things like that, you know.
So you'd be devastated if that notebook got lost.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Really photocopy it every night.
One couldn't happen without the other. No farming, no comedy.
Absolutely.
In a way, no comedy, no farming. I suppose because you need that release. Do you do just something a bit different?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the comedy just started off as a hobby, but it's now a mainstay now. Folk are sometimes say, "Oh, you going to give up the farming?" You know, and I can't understand why they would ask me that, because I would never ever do that. And I know we've got sucker cows here and breeding sheep, the 2 things that give you the most bloody hassle at times. But I mean, I mean, the farming is the number one passion. That's absolutely everything to me. I would say the comedy was actually only 30%. You know, it's just that the comedy just now, it seems to be touched with going somewhere, so as well to pursue it just now, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the plan is for next year to come away with a whole new show, so getting that just as good and fresh is difficult. So there is a wee bit, yeah. But it's amazing, just everyday life and talking to folk and listening to stuff on the radio. Stuff does come to you.
And you're going to be a father in July.
Yes,
so, speaking from experience, I know that will be incredibly life-changing, and I'm sure... Well, I know there's plenty of comedy in it if you look for it. So if anybody can find it, you will.
Totally.
So that should be as long as Morag and the baby don't mind, quite a useful extra avenue for some material.
Oh, absolutely. No, Morag won't mind. She's pretty funny herself. In fact, she comes up with some funny stuff sometimes and then wants credit for it. So it's like, if you use that joke, you need to pay me. So my last stuff was all about when I used to be single and dating and going out nightclubbing in Perth and young farmers and that. But now it's all the next chapter, the more so-called sensible part of my life.
Well, maybe. So how do you reckon you split your time at the moment? You know, in an average week, how much are you here and how much are you away doing gigs and stuff?
When I was trying to get myself established, maybe call it serve your apprenticeship, and plus I hadn't met Morag. I was single at that point as well, so I would do gigs maybe Aberdeen or mainly Edinburgh, Glasgow. But now, because I value my time weekends, and Morag's a school teacher, I'm doing maybe less gigs, but the gigs that I'm doing are better, like my tour. It's a lot more worthwhile. And
you've got an agent who kind of does a lot of bookings for
yes,
you,
aye.
So that makes life a wee bit easier.
But I'm on the series of Breaking News has started again. I'm a weekly panellist on that. So I guess you could say once a week just now, but that's but it's all worthwhile because it's exposure and things,
Yeah, exactly. And you must enjoy it, otherwise you wouldn't be.
Yes,
aye. Doing it.
It's quite challenging to come up with new stuff every week, but it's good for you too.
Yeah.
Especially this time of year. I mean, I can just get my cattle done in the morning. It's a bit wet for doing anything else, and I wouldn't be saying that when we're lambing, because I think there's 2 episodes in April. So,
because you can't always. I suppose you can. Some things you can avoid doing during lambing time, but not anything that's being determined by other people.
No.
Yeah.
We don't lamb till the 5th of April. It would normally be the 1st of April, but I've got a corporate gig. It was quite good money, so I thought I'll put the tups out just a few days later.
So there's a bit of farm management tweaking that you can do to fit in around gigs,
yeah. Aye, because I think folk think I'm away all the time doing my comedy. I'm not really, and I know I did my tour last year, but it was all kind of Friday and Saturday nights and all within kind of easily travelling distance.
Yeah.
But it was worthwhile me doing. I know it sounds a bit big-headed, but it's diversification now, and if I didn't do that, I'd maybe have to go out contracting or something.
Well, yeah.
So
funny enough, that we were talking about that in the car on the way up, and it wasn't actually a word that had been in my mind. But, if you think about it, it's the ultimate in unusual diversification, and that's what it is. Some people will go out and get a part-time job, or
a lot of
self-catering, tourism, that kind of thing. Renewable energy or whatever.
Big estates or that. So
it's your diversification.
Aye. Yeah, I'm just glad, because I think the size of farm we are now, I would need to diversify. There's a lot of young lads around here and work really long hours in their tractors. The tractor now, a decent contractor's tractor that's reliable, you're talking about 80 or 100,000, maybe even a bit more. So you get that to get the work, and then you need the work just to pay for the tractor to start with. So it's not easy.
I suppose apart from your blue notebook and a pen, you don't need much equipment to...
Just imagination. I know, but there's days when
I'm... a skill, obviously, but no capital investment.
Well, very lucky.
So how did it all start? I know that's a big question.
Well, obviously I was in Young Farmers, and I used to love being in the panto. Perthshire Young Farmers did a panto every couple of years. I got a buzz from that, and I just started writing the sketches for it.
And did you usually win?
No, actually, Bathgate were the team to beat. But we did... The last year I was I was 29-year-old, I was able to be in the team. We won it in Perth. That was brilliant. That was like a kind of World Cup moment, so that was nice. But it was after that, I think early 30s, I still wrote the panto for the Young Farmers, but I just had an inkling to do something else with it, really. And actually, I thought about starting a sketch group with a couple of other kind of funny guys that I knew, but they were all busy. And I then started, two things happened. I started thinking about jokes that would be suitable for stand-up.
Yeah.
And
at that point, you hadn't done any
stand-up. No. In fact, I'd never even... I'd been to the Stand Comedy Club to watch stand-up once and never really thought it was my thing. And then the other thing was Desperate Fishwives from Aberdeen. They're kind of like a spin-off from Scotland of What.
Oh, yes.
You know, in fact, Buff Hardy's
Yeah.
son was involved in it, John Hardy.
Far are you? You should be in Scotland, gone by your adverts.
Yes, we do have a centre in Dunfermline, sir.
Oh? And fits the weather like at your call centre?
It's quite a nice day.
Rubbish! I have a BBC's weather website open, and it is clearly pissing it down in Dunfermline. Far are you, really?
Basingstoke.
I can't...
And they got a radio series, and I'd never heard of this group. They've been going for years, doing like all that kind of Doric humour. And I was well jealous, you know.
That spark.
It hit me like, it says,
nature.
right, I need to try and see if I can do something. It was just something in me. I didn't know how to go about it or anything, but I noticed on the Stand, on their website, they do beginners night on a Tuesday in Glasgow and a Monday in Edinburgh. It's called Red Raw, and anyone can apply. So you apply and get 2 5-minute slots.
Okay, yeah.
So I applied for that. I remember filling in the application and hitting the return button and getting a bit nervous about it. And then
had you told anybody you were doing this, or was it?
No, not until the night. That was like in August, and it said, there won't be any spaces till March, because there was that much a big... Because by then Kevin Bridges had just kind of hit it big time, and everyone was wanting to try it. And then they phoned up and said, we've got a cancellation for next week. This is like November. Do you want it? I was like, oh, yeah. So, and I remember panicking. But I just told my mate, a pal of mine who lived in Glasgow, and my cousin. I just told two people, and that was it. And
because it's quite putting yourself out there, isn't it? If it's not something you've done before, it takes a lot of bravery, I think. Yeah.
But it was brilliant. They only charge, say, like £3 a ticket. So a lot of students go. So there's like 8 acts on, and there's always like a good headliner and a good compere, and 2 or 3 folk beginners, and then there could be established acts trying out new stuff. So you don't know what they're going to get. So I think the audience are a bit more forgiving. But the thing was packed, and but thankfully it went okay. I was really nervous before. I sat in the car for about an hour. Well, the first thing, I think I left at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was like a kind of pilgrimage, you know? Kind of folk waving me off and all. And I had all these screeds of notes and trying to remember it, because it's not like, I've been that used to doing like Young Farmers After Dinner, where you can just go on my notepad and a card. Well, you can't do that. So trying to, and thinking, how are you going to manage to speak for 5 minutes? But it absolutely flew by.
Did you get a real buzz at the end?
Oh, totally.
I bet, yeah.
I was absolutely buzzing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was high as a kite. I drove home absolutely. It was better than any drink, or not that I take drugs, but anything, it was just nothing I'd experienced
complete
before.
Adrenaline hit, and I guess that's the thing with any kind of addiction, isn't it? It's that adrenaline that makes you want to do it again. So
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But as somebody said, Red Raw, the crowd are usually brilliant, so you come off thinking you're the next Michael McIntyre, and then you'll maybe get a pub gig in Largs or something the next week, and it doesn't go so well. Yes.
Did that happen?
I've had a few sticky ones. In the early days, because I'm a lot more experienced now, and I've got a broader range of materials. So, but that it's good. It doesn't do any harm.
Yeah, exactly. And do you find the farming community a hard audience?
Yes and no. Mainly all right, actually, because a lot of my stuff's suited for them.
Yeah.
I never worry when it's a farming audience now. I'd say actually farmers they're up for a laugh, so
Well, it's always gone down very well whenever I've heard you speaking.
Thanks,
so it's
the only thing I would say is maybe that slightly more conservative ones. I mean, I do F and Jeff a wee bit. He sometimes